Welcome to our exploration of the wisdom-filled book of Proverbs. Today, we're diving into a fascinating verse that highlights the importance of humility and selflessness. Specifically, we'll be looking at Proverbs 14:31, which reminds us that a humble spirit brings joy to others. As we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to get caught up in our own needs and desires. But what does the Bible say about putting ourselves last? In this verse, we're encouraged to consider the impact of our actions on those around us. The story of Proverbs is full of timeless wisdom that can help us live more intentionally and love others better. By studying this book, we can gain a deeper understanding of God's character and how He wants us to interact with one another. As we examine Proverbs 14:31, let's consider what it means to have a humble spirit in practice. How can we show kindness and compassion to those around us, even when it's difficult? We'll explore the context of this verse and how it relates to other passages that emphasize the importance of humility. Biblical context and key passages. The phrase, "Do not be afraid," appears throughout the Bible, but one of its most notable occurrences is in Isaiah 41:10, where God reminds His people that He will strengthen them and help them with their fears. This verse serves as a powerful reminder that we don't have to face our challenges alone. In Proverbs, the concept of humility and fearlessness is closely tied together. The book teaches us that when we live with a humble spirit, we're more likely to be confident in God's presence and provision. Proverbs 14:31 encourages us to consider how our actions might impact those around us, which requires a certain level of selflessness and humility. The Bible has much to say about the importance of trusting in God's goodness, even when faced with uncertainty or danger. For example, Deuteronomy 31:6 reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles, and that God will be with us wherever we go. One way to cultivate a humble spirit is by learning from others' experiences. In Proverbs 24:27, we're encouraged to learn the discipline of working hard and being diligent, which requires a willingness to listen and grow. Practicing humility means being willing to put others before ourselves. It involves trusting in God's goodness and provision, even when faced with uncertainty or danger. Meaning and key themes in Proverbs 14:31, we're reminded that a humble spirit is essential for bringing joy to those around us. This verse encourages us to consider the impact of our actions on others, which requires a certain level of selflessness and humility. A humble spirit is not about seeking recognition or praise from others. Rather, it's about living with a genuine concern for the well-being of those around us. When we prioritize others' needs over our own, we create an environment where people feel valued, loved, and supported. The concept of humility in Proverbs is closely tied to trust in God's goodness and provision. As we learn to rely on Him, we become more confident in His presence and care for us, even when faced with uncertainty or danger. One way to cultivate a humble spirit is by learning from others' experiences. In Proverbs 24:27, we're encouraged to learn the discipline of working hard and being diligent, which requires a willingness to listen and grow. Humility involves putting others before ourselves and considering their needs in our actions. It's about trusting in God's goodness and provision, even when faced with uncertainty or danger. Practical application today. So how can we apply this wisdom from Proverbs 14:31 to our daily lives? One practical way is by practicing acts of kindness and compassion towards those around us. This might mean listening to a friend in need, offering a helping hand, or simply being present with someone who's struggling. When we choose to prioritize others' needs over our own, we create an environment where people feel valued and loved. This not only brings joy to those around us, but also deepens our relationship with God as we learn to trust in His goodness and provision. Cultivating a humble spirit requires effort and intentionality, but the rewards are well worth it. By prioritizing others' needs and trusting in God's goodness, we can experience a deeper sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment in our lives. Conclusion: as we reflect on the wisdom found in Proverbs 14:31, let's not forget that humility is a choice we make every day. It requires effort and intentionality, but the rewards are well worth it. When we prioritize others' needs over our own, we create an environment where people feel valued and loved. This brings joy to those around us and deepens our relationship with God as we learn to trust in His goodness and provision. We're reminded that humility is not about seeking recognition or praise from others. Rather, it's about living with a genuine concern for the well-being of those around us. As we strive to cultivate a humble spirit, let's remember that God is our rock and strength in times of uncertainty or danger. He will strengthen us and help us with our fears. Isaiah 41:10-11.